¿Cómo te llamas?
I'm Joy, and I'm from the United States, but now I live in Punta Cana.
So, what brought you to Punta Cana?
I came to Punta Cana on a girls' trip. Just a girls' trip. First time Dominican Republic, and it was an amazing trip. Came here for 7 days, I think, something like that. And I am an investor in the United States. I've been an investor, and I saw these signs around about how you can buy a place for $50,000, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should buy a property here, and I can rent it out, and I can come vacation here. So I had that in mind and everything, and I went back to the United States thinking, maybe I'll buy an investment property. So I happened to be talking to somebody a couple days later, and they asked me why was I still single, because I've been married for umpteenth amount of years and divorced for a couple. I said that I feel that needs to fix something in me, or God is fixing something in the person that I need to be with. But that's the reason why I'm single. That I'm ready to be married again, but that's what needs to happen. And the person said, well, maybe what God needs from you, or maybe what God wants for you, is that you've been married for 20 years, that maybe there's some things that He's allowing you to do now, single, that you couldn't do while you were married. What have you wanted to do that you have not had a chance to do in the last 20 years? And this was right after I came back. After going to school in Spain, I always wanted to live in a Spanish speaking country, but I couldn't because, I had family and all of that. And so I said, maybe, maybe that's it. So I talked to my ex husband. I had a young son at home still who's bilingual. And I told him what happened. And he said, that person has a point. Maybe you should. I'll support your decision in going there with our son if you want to for a year. So 4 weeks later, after my girls' trip, I came back to Punta Cana and purchased a house. Purchased a house. I purchased a whole house. And then I started prepping myself for the year-long plan to move to Punta Cana with my son. And it was a whirlwind, but it was one of the greatest decisions that I've ever made in my life.
After you spoke to your husband,
Ex-husband.
your ex-husband at the time, from the decision to actually come here, was it easy for you? Like, you seem like you already made up in your mind that this is what you wanted to do. So, how was the transition period?
So when I made my decision to come to DR, like, I was excited. I talked to a close friend, I talked to my nephew, and they were like, you got this, you could do it. This is an excellent decision. And just like you're going to rent out your house in DR, it's the same thing. Just rent out your house in the United States and stay in DR. And I was nervous, but then I was excited. And I told a close friend of mine, I called them up and I said, hey, guess what? I decided I'm moving to DR for a year. And they were like, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. Why would you do that? Like, it's a third world country. It's dirty, you know. Uh, you're going to miss everything American. And they gave me all of these reasons why I shouldn't. And the only thing that I got from that conversation is to keep my dreams to myself. Keep my dreams to myself, because I had so much excitement about it that while I was talking to them, it was on the phone. I remember I was sitting in the chair. I remember looking out over my pool, listening to this person, and they were telling me everything I was going to give up. And first I started getting depressed and sad because, I'd already bought a house. But then I said, this is the same type of people that you listen to and they tell you what you shouldn't do. And 5 years later, they done moved to Punta Cana with their family. They've they did it. And then if you say, well, you told me not to, they'll say, well, why did you listen to me? So I decided that at that moment, I'm going to stop listening to everybody else. If this is a mistake, so what? I learned something in all my years of doing real estate. When something happens and it doesn't work out, there's a book called Failing Forward, that instead of people talk about falling back, you fail forward. So if it's a mistake, it's not a failure. It's taking me up to the next level where I need to go. take it, learn from it, and go from there. So if it doesn't work out, I'll just move back to the United States.
Can you briefly share what your life was like before moving to the Dominican Republic?
My life before DR is very different than my life afterwards. In the United States, I realized that we're so concentrated on materialistic things. So I had, honestly, like a millionaire mindset. I wanted to have a certain amount of money in the bank in the next 4 years. I need to have all these things in my house. I need to go to these different places. I'm traveling internationally every couple of months. All of these things, all of these things, having these little house parties and going out to dinner. And I realized that I was pleasing others more than pleasing myself. I was pleasing others a whole lot more than pleasing myself. And I thought I was pleasing myself. But here, my house is much smaller. The people I hang out with, it's much smaller. The things that I like to do is just different because it's a little bit that makes me happy now. I just can't explain it. Like, I don't need all the things that I needed. I don't need to go to Home Goods and have, all these things around my house. My house is very minimalistic. The things that are there, they're there because I need it. It's hard to explain, but it's completely different. My hair is different. So everything is different. Everything just feels more organic now.
So what were your biggest fears or concerns before moving?
My biggest fear before moving is that I will be broke. My biggest fear that I'll be broke and alone and scared and sitting in a little corner rocking. That was my biggest fear. Now, I've had some moments where I've rocked. I had some rocking moments. But I thought that I would be in that situation for a while. But you know what I will say? Even through my saddest moments here, I feel more at peace than with some of my happiest moments in the United States, which is crazy. There's just like a peace that envelops me here that I've never felt before in my life. And I can't explain it. Even talking about it right now, like I feel chills.
What are some of the biggest lifestyle differences you've noticed?
In the United States, I had a nice car. I had a big house. Y'all, I had this mirror that was this $700 mirror. It was beautiful. It had a little easel. It had lights going around it. You touch it. And when I got up in the morning, I could see my clothes and everything. This mirror was gorgeous. I had a pool in the backyard with lights and a huge house. My bathroom was amazing. I don't want it now. I don't want any of it now, which is crazy. It's crazy. In the United States, I had a luxury car. Here, I decided to get a car that fit in with most of the locals because, driving here is a little bit different. It's not for the faint of heart. And you're probably going to get nicked and scratched a little bit. And so I needed to get a car that was going to blend in. So if I need to get my bumper replaced like this, it was only going to cost me $10. So that's what I decided. Eventually, I'm going to change out, but that's what I have here.
What do you love most about living here?
When I came to buy my house, that 4 weeks later, I came to my house and I was staying in Los Corrales and I was here for a week. And some things happened. I came down with a friend of mine and she had to leave. And so I was here by myself and I got sick. I didn't have a voice. I couldn't talk. I went downstairs to the local Mado, which is like the corner store. And I had ran out of pesos and dollars. I had my card. They didn't take cards there. And so I went and I just wanted to see if they had tea because I was going to go to the ATM and get some money and, buy the tea. So I went down and the guy, I asked him, I couldn't talk. And I was like, do you have tea? Do you have tea? And he was like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm sick. Do you have tea? And he was like, yeah, there's there. Get it. And I was like, no, I can't get it. I don't have any money. He was like, get it. I was like, does this guy not understand me? No tengo pesos. No tengo dollar. No tengo nada. Nada. And he was like, get it. I'm like, something is wrong. And then he said, in Spanish, but he said, no me importa si tienes dinero. Like, it's not important to me if you have money. He said, what's important is that you're sick and you need tea. Take the tea. That's when I made my decision, because the sense of community here is just unbelievable. You know, like, he didn't care that I didn't have money. He was in the store and he said what was most important was that I was sick and that I needed to get better. The sense of community here is phenomenal, and it's not like anything that I've experienced in the United States. It's like everybody's family. Now, there are people that try to get over on you, but when you're truly in need here, like truly in need, you're going to get taken care of. If you don't have any food and you need to eat, somebody's going to feed you. If you're broke down, people are going to stop. I had this moment where there was water in the road, and I'm just sitting there looking at the puddle like, how am I going to cross the street because it's flooded? And the guy was like, get on my taxi so I can take you across the street because you can't get your feet wet. That doesn't happen in the United States.
It wet you up.
Get splattered. And my doors get open. The chivalry here.
Can I help you?
Mi amor. Mi amor. Mi amor. Mi amor. The chivalry here is, but the chivalry here feels very similar to how I grew up in South Carolina.
What's your day-to-day life like now?
It took me some ups and downs to figure out what my life would look like here. So a day in my life is a little bit of time working and a little bit of time playing. My day consists of me focusing on my company, Joy in the DR, but then also focusing on me. And I didn't have a chance to focus on me like that in the United States.
What does Joy in the DR encompasses?
Joy in the DR is your Punta Cana connection. Stay, play, or vacay. So I'm here to help you with all things here. So whether you're looking at investing, whether you're looking at retiring, or whether you're looking at just vacationing, then I'm here to help. I'm like your Punta Cana plug. So the purpose of my channel is to tell you the ups and downs of life here. This has been 2 years in the making. For 2 years, I wanted to come here and I've been kind of nervous of exposing myself, but here I'm now. So some of the things are going to be current and some of the things are going to be things that I've dealt with. Finding schools for my son, trying to find places for my clients, building a house, decorating a house, all of that. And then the fun thing, hanging with my friends in Las Terrenas, going to Samana. What's the nightlife here? So it's all things. Deciding to go away from the flat iron and deal with the whole curly hair journey. All things DR. So thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit about me. If you like this content and you want to know more about the journey, all parts of this journey, any part of this journey, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification so my things come up for you, and like, share. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, Joy in the DR. We'll talk soon.